Should public officials have to take periodic drug tests? Now hear me out here, okay? Because I'm going to get a knee-jerk reaction, and I want to clarify. I should begin by stating that I would oppose the policy in the way it is usually presented, which is as a means to deny people access to help. Somebody comes in, they're brutally addicted to cocaine or brutally addicted to heroin, and they say, help me, and they say, no, we won't help you because you're addicted. That's ridiculous, right? But that actually isn't on a libertarian basis, right? It's on the socialist basis. It's not like, I'm not saying that we shouldn't have drug tests because it doesn't matter if people are on drugs or not. I'm saying that we should, or maybe we should have drug tests, but it should be a reason to get help, not a reason to not get help, right? So that's on a socialist basis, a left-wing basis, right? I would argue that drug addiction is a public health issue and that social services should exist to deal with it. Not on the cheap either, it's what government does. To deny people welfare because they're on drugs is completely absurd. Okay? That's exactly why we have a government, is so that people that are on drugs can get the help that they need. Should they go rob a bank instead go rob a convenience store? So that's, normally when you hear about this, drug testing, that's what it's meant for, and this is it's utter stupidity, okay? That's not a left-wing or a right-wing position even, that's just a smart conservative would understand that when somebody goes to the government and says, help me, I'm on drugs, then the government should help them, right? It's a question, that's not a question of left versus right, it's a question of having some kind of empathy versus being a sociopath, right? I have a somewhat of a hazier view about whether employers should be allowed to test employees. It seems unnecessary to test a fast food worker. You'll be able to figure out fairly quickly whether it's impeding them or not, right? If you're the boss and you walk in, and a buddy's singing, Bohemian Rhapsody in the back, you can, come to the conclusion very quickly. If you order a burger and, it's missing half the ingredients, you get the point pretty quick, right? But on the other side, I will admit a bit of a libertarian streak here too, right? Somebody's working in fast food, it's not too much fun. If they can go smoke a J out in the back and come in and do their job okay, I don't really see the point in telling them that they can't work there, right? As long as they're doing their job right. But I mean, if they're working at half the pace and you notice that food starts missing, maybe you should step in, right? I don't think you require drug tests. You should be able to figure that out otherwise, right? But that said, it's probably a good idea to test a structural engineer from time to time. People that make bridges and buildings and stuff. You might not know when they're, coked out or drunk when they're doing their designs and, drop a factor because they're seeing triple, right? So I'd reverse the normal logic here. The more complex the job is, the more important it is that the person that's doing it is sober when they're working. I don't think we need drug tests for fast food workers. I do think we need drug tests for engineers. Elected officials take the issue to the highest level, right? And I think this falls into the category of public accountability as well. So it's a different scenario when you're talking about a private employer. What right does I think that with public servants, whether you're talking about politicians or just people that work in the bureaucracy, they're accountable to people. They're accountable to the public, and I think that this is one of the things that would fall under that category of public accountability, right? Bottom line is pissing in a bottle a few times a year is hardly onerous, but it would help us ensure that our government is being run by people that are clear-minded. Now, you want to come in with a libertarian bent, so what, maybe they're on coke. Well, so what, maybe they are. I don't want to vote for them. I don't want to vote for a cokehead. I don't want to give a cokehead the nuclear keys. I don't want to give a cokehead, the power of the purse. I'm sorry. You want to be a cokehead, don't run for office, okay? And if you want to run for office, clean up your drug habit first. And I think that we do have the right to demand that knowledge, and that this is public oversight and this public accountability. I think it's a good idea. It would answer the question that I have, right? I mean, I'm convinced that Clinton is a cokehead. If we could test her, that would clear up the question, right?